thank you, Jeff, for that nice introduction, and I'm delighted to have a chance to be with all of you today at a very important conference. I want to give a special shout out to some of my Kansas environmental friends and our friends in the steel workers who are here and were nice enough to greet me. But I particularly want to recognize the fact that, as Jeff has already said, this is exactly the partnership we need to come together, where we have unions and environmentalists, advocates and stakeholders, private industry and policymakers all at the table moving in the same direction. I don't know who had the foresight to plan this conference in at this time. I'm sure you knew there'd be a stimulus package being debated, that it would have line on green jobs. I'm sure that you absolutely knew that Barack Obama would be the president, committed to a new energy future, so here we are. As a governor for the last 6 years, I can tell you that this has been a difficult environment to try and develop any comprehensive energy policy because we haven't had any partner in Washington. To say that there has been no energy policy is perhaps an overstatement. It has been, I would say, a negative energy policy. Never in my life did I think I'd live to see the days when states sued the EPA trying to get them to do their job or beg for some kind of clarity. Usually we're happy to go off on our own, but it's clear in this area that we have been missing some kind of comprehensive set of rules so we could actually move forward. So absent that, governors have actually been joining together in single state or regional alliances, trying to move initiatives forward, dealing with climate change issues and also dealing with opportunities for green energy. But it's been a bit handicapped, lacking any kind of federal initiative. So I'm delighted to have now the opportunity to work with a president who's a partner, who understands not only the challenges that we have, but the real opportunities that lie ahead. And remember, Barack Obama may have been raised in some very exotic places, but he was raised by Kansas women. We know these women. They come right out of the heartland. So I think we're right now poised at a real turning point in this country, and one that a lot of us are eager to take advantage of and help propel forward. And there clearly are some things that can happen very, very quickly. And I'll talk about the stimulus in a minute. There's a lot of focus on that, and that is critical to get passed, and I hope it gets passed immediately. But I know you're going to hear tomorrow from Sheila Jackson, the new EPA administrator. But clearly, if Congress were to move fairly quickly on two issues that don't cost any money, what a novel idea, they could actually, I think, unlock a lot of private capital sitting on the sidelines, making the tax credit for solar, wind, geothermal production a multi-year, decade-long, maybe forever kind of tax credit would certainly send a very strong signal to the marketplace, which has had, I would say, mixed signals over the period of time. That combined with a renewable portfolio standard at a national level would, I think, immediately unlock not only ingenuity and innovation, which is going on in the private sector, but unlock the private investment capital, which is currently ready to launch, but a little skeptical about whether or not this is a fleeting opportunity and would like some long-term signals. So I know that the new president, during the course of the campaign, talked about those initiatives as being key, and I'm hoping that once the stimulus is passed, those can be the next two things on the table to move very quickly in the energy arena. We clearly need an interstate highway system of transmission lines. We come from a state where the wind blows a lot, and it's an enormous asset, but part of the barrier to expanding wind production is how to get the wind from where it blows to the marketplace. For the first time in 30 years, we have competing transmission projects. That's very good news. But there's still some regulatory issues that we've got to get the regional power pool, the Southwest Power Pool in our case, to deal with, getting a rating system in place to make it clear who bears the cost of that. And again, I think that can be very much accelerated if we move quickly. As you all know, the stimulus package has dollars for transmission, dollars for retrofitting public housing and school buildings, dollars for weatherizing low-income homes. A number of those areas, again, states have taken in their own hands because there wasn't any great national incentive, so there are programs in place on the ground. We've been doing retrofitting of schools and universities for almost a decade and have made great progress there. We'd love to be able to spread that program further. Clearly, the transmission issue is one that we take very seriously. We even created our own transmission authority at the state level in hopes to try and accelerate that market a bit. And we're no different than other states who have put programs together but waiting for some kind of clear initiative. Also, clearly waiting in Congress is a clear signal on carbon. Again, very difficult to do at a state level. We were on the forefront of one of those battles in Kansas last year when my Secretary of Health and Environment denied a permit for a new coal-fired plant in the southwest part of our state. And I'd like you to bring that applause back to Kansas and let them hear a little bit of it. But and he was the first secretary in the country to cite carbon and the need. He used his emergency authority that prescribes that his constitutional duties are to look out for the health of Kansans and the future of our environment to, in fact, deny that permit. But we have waged some legislative battles in the interim. You probably know that then a couple of months ago, Wisconsin, the Public Utility Authority, turned down coal-fired permits that had made their way through the process, again, citing the need to factor in carbon. And just 3 days ago, Governor Jennifer Granholm in Michigan put a moratorium, at least for a period of time, on 4 new permits that were pending in Michigan, citing that they needed to, again, weigh the alternative possibilities and look at the carbon impact. So again, I think a lot of states are taking this very seriously. We look forward to having an environmental protection agency which actually develops some rules and gives us some clear rules of the road.